dice, oh. Yeah. Wow. Siempre un perdón, no te mentí. Ya no hay nada que me asombre. Malo porque siempre confío en ti. Y te conozco solo el nombre. Me dice que me ama cuando hay nubes grises. Pero me saludan más las olas del mar. Ella es muy bipolar con tantos matices. Cuando dice que está bien, piensa que está mal. Ella dice que está bien, que son solo amigos, socio, nada que ver. Le tiene contraseña a nivel pro al ser. Sé que algo oculta, pero no sé qué.
Morning guys! I hope everyone's well and having a good weekend so far. So I've just applied, as always, my glow drops, and also I got sent this roller thing, dual roller. So it's meant to reduce the puffiness, and it just was nice on the face as well. So that's really cool. It's kind of like a little bit cold on the cheeks, which is probably good because it does reduce, feels like it reduces the puffiness anyway. But I am going to go to the gym this morning, train a session. I've got a deep clean that I actually really need to get done today. Probably, well, I definitely need to do some admin as well. So it's going to be a Sunday work morning, and then the afternoon / evening I'm going to be going to London. So I need to get everything done this morning and then I'll be ready to go later. Now that's pretty much the plan for today. I might do a grocery shop at some point as well, so I'll show you guys if I do. Weight is down actually from the beginning of the first weigh-in of the shred. So we're down about ½ kilogram, which is good. But in the week I did this weigh-in, I can't remember, I think it was in one of my vlogs, and I was at like 53.3 maybe, and that was because I did have a bit of funny stomach, whereas today we're at 53.5, so we're still, you know, down about ½ kilogram from the first check-in. And yeah, as I said, I think I'm probably going to be doing the October competition. So the summer shred will be like 8 weeks, see how I feel and look by the end of the 8 weeks, and then after that probably be a case of maintenance maybe till October. We'll just see how things go, because I am, you know, happy with my physique as it is at the moment. So I don't want to get like really lean, especially if I'm not competing till October, you know. It's really strange because I left my headphones in one of my pockets yesterday and I forgot to put the AirPods back in the case, so I haven't got any today, and I always train with AirPods, so I haven't not trained with some kind of music for ages, so it'll probably be quite nice, to be honest, just to train without thinking about music. I thought I would talk you through my shoulder session today. So I started off with overhead press with the barbell, and as always I'm focusing on slow eccentric, so the lowering down movement, or the lowering down phase of the movement. And I think I did 3 sets of each of the exercises, or the majority of the exercises, but I didn't film all the sets because I thought you guys might get a little bit bored watching all of them. So I was going to failure on these overhead press, barbell overhead press, and then I actually went straight into a drop set, and a drop set is where you start off at heavier weight, and then when you've kind of got to that failure point, you then immediately drop down to a slightly lighter weight. And then again, you focus on going to failure. I went straight into an upright row after the overhead press. So I actually did a wide grip upright row, which is a really good exercise focusing on the anterior delts, the front of the shoulders. And you want to try and lift the barbell up to chest height. That weight was actually quite heavy after I'd just done the overhead press, and again I did a drop set on these. As you can see, my lovely facial expressions. I like to go to pretty much failure on most things and get to that progressive overload stage with my training. I find this is definitely the most effective way, personally, to train. I did about 3 sets of most exercises, as I said at the beginning, and this actually was not just a superset, it was a giant set because I did also add in lateral raises. I tend to find whenever I do shoulders I do a lot of lateral raises. I just love lateral raises. The next set of exercises I did started off with a seated dumbbell press. So driving up with the arms, slow on the eccentric movement as the arms are lowering down to shoulder height and then driving back up. I'm going to failure on these, and then after I've gone to failure on the dumbbell press, I will go straight into a seated lateral raise. So you want to make sure in the seated lateral raise you're bringing the dumbbells up to shoulder height. I'd like to kind of almost do a bit of a pause as my arms do get to shoulder height, just to intensify the exercise and really work the shoulders. After the seated lateral raise, I went straight back into a standing lateral raise. As I said, I do love my standing lateral raises. And again, I'm focusing on pausing at the top of the rep when the arms are in line with the shoulders. And then nice and slowly on the eccentric movement, lowering down. And then I go into another set of the dumbbell overhead press. The next exercise I moved on to was an over the hill. This is where you start with the dumbbells by the thighs, and then you're almost creating like an over the hill movement, so the arms are coming up laterally and then forwards. This gives the shoulders like a really nice cap, and is actually why I'm doing this particular exercise. So when you're competing in something like fitness modelling, you want to also almost create like a cap type shape on the top of the shoulders. After I've done the over the hills, I'm going into straight arm lifts. And the reason I do this exercise is because naturally I engage my traps in a lot of exercises I do, and doing the straight arm movement above the head actually means that it's very difficult to then engage the traps. So it's quite beneficial exercise for me in particular to do. Then I'm moving on to another round of the seated overhead press. I have slightly sped up this video because I thought you guys might get a little bit bored at this point. And then I went into a seated lateral raise. Sorry about the facial expressions. And then I went back into the over the hills. The next exercise I did was a side raise using the cable. This is actually quite a tricky exercise, but again it really works on the shoulder cap. And you want to make sure when you're doing this exercise, you're keeping the weight fairly light and focusing on lifting the arm all the way to shoulder height. You can have a micro bend in the elbow, but try and keep it fairly straight. As you can see, I've actually taken the pin out because my shoulders are pretty fatigued at this point. I focused on going to failure again on the sets of these. And I actually superset this exercise with a cable front raise. Personally, I find that I prefer a cable front raise to a dumbbell front raise because I feel like it's slightly less pressure on the elbows. Sometimes if you're doing a fairly heavy dumbbell front raise, I find actually my elbows tend to take a bit more of the strain than my shoulders, and that's the reason I don't go any heavier. So this for me works a lot better. Then I move back into the cable lateral raise. for a second set, and I actually did 3 sets but only filmed 2 sets of these. When you're doing this exercise, you can hold onto the cable just for a bit of stability. Next, I moved on to triceps. So I started off with tricep pushdowns. When I'm doing my tricep pushdowns, I'm really focusing on that muscle contraction of the triceps. So with everything that I do, I make sure that I've got that mind muscle connection going on. I would much prefer to focus on that and the technique than actually ego lift and increase the weight when it's not really doing so much. Next, I'm moving on to, I can't actually remember the name of this exercise. It's a strange name. I feel like it's related to a rabbit, but I can't quite remember. But anyway, you're bringing the bar into the nose, and then you're focusing on pushing the bar away from you and down to the ground. Again, really focusing on that contraction in the triceps. And then the third exercise I did in this giant set was a tricep pull down. So I've changed to an underhand grip in this position, and then again really focusing on that muscle contraction in the triceps. Unfortunately, I've changed to my not so good camera to film this exercise session because I think my good camera to film had run out of battery. So you can't actually see the muscle definition quite so well just because the camera pixel isn't quite so clear. So then I'm doing exactly the same again, the set that I've just done. The last set of exercises I moved on to were tricep extensions using a dumbbell over the head. So for this, you're kind of shaping the hands in a cup shape, and then you're lowering the dumbbell down your neck or past your head down your neck, and then fully extending the arms at the top. And then I superset this exercise with a dumbbell kick back, one knee on the bench as if I was doing a single arm row, and then again I'm just bringing that arm back, fully extending the tricep, feeling almost a slight squeeze or pinch in that tricep, and then bringing the arm back into the waist. So then I'm obviously changing to the other side, and exactly the same on that arm. The reason I filmed on a Sunday morning, as you can see, is that it's fairly quiet, whereas if I filmed this session in the week, it would be so busy. There would probably be, at least 15 people within this section of the gym. So then I just did another set of both exercises, and that was pretty much the session. I managed to film the majority of that shoulder session, shoulder and tricep session. That was actually really good. I think I'm going to try and train weights more often without headphones because I just felt super focused. Whereas normally where I'm changing song and then I'm on my phone, I'm really distracted. So I'm definitely going to do that, I think, from now on. And yeah, I'm going to go and do probably a 20-minute walk and then head back, have something to eat and get on with cleaning this morning and admin I need to do. But that is going to be my morning.
photos. You and I were both of different kinds of colors. I'm glad I'm not yours. Why am I feeling like I want you to be mine? And I want you to be mine. Different kinds of colors.
The weather is just so beautiful again. Honestly, it makes me realise how much sun and heat and warmth plays such an important role in my life. And again, just reminds me of how much I miss hot climates like Bali. I mean, when the weather's like this in the UK, there's no comparison to, you know, it's just so beautiful here. But the rest of the year, it's definitely more challenging. And I think if you place yourself in situations, environments where you can thrive, and I know for sure, like being in a warm climate helps me be able to be super productive and just live my dream life. It just makes life so much easier. I've just been doing some yoga in the sun and it was just amazing. I'm also reading up on, I've got a 200-hour yoga teacher training course, so I'm going to start to do that because I really want to teach yoga properly at some point, and I feel like that's my natural progression where I'd like to go. So I'm just going to learn as much as I can about yoga and obviously develop my own practice and hopefully go to other people's yoga classes as well, because I think it's so important if you can have some kind of mentor that you vibe with to, you know, learn from them and grow and evolve your own practice with the help of someone else. So I think I'm going to try and find someone, you know, who I find is really good and I like the style of. Also, I've been in London, as you guys know, quite a lot recently, and I was thinking of moving back to Oxford. I am now contemplating, sorry, the side of my camera is a bit dodgy, whether I'm going to move to Oxford or London. Because I just feel like there's so much opportunity. Obviously there's so much opportunity anywhere where you go, but I've never actually lived in London. And it's a whole new world to explore, lots of things to see and do, and I feel like the movement and fitness scene is really strong there. So it would definitely be exciting if I did go there over the summer and just see how things go, I guess. But I know that's another idea and it would be a big decision, but I'm pretty sure someone is definitely taking my flat now, so it's freeing me up, which is amazing, and I'm super excited for the next step, the next stage. But yeah, that's all the news. I think I'm going to end the video here, but I hope you guys have enjoyed that video today. I know it was quite a lot of my training session and then just, you know, a bit of outdoor yoga stretch, and I will see you for my next video. Bye.